Good morning, LOCPOD audience. Season 10, that's Season X for you, Phil.
Thank you.
Episode 3.
Yes.
Phil Talon in the house.
Hey, good morning.
Thanks for coming in.
I'm excited about being on the most dangerous podcast in America.
In the Midwest.
We
haven't gone full America yet.
Oh,
Be
man.
careful.
What's more dangerous?
I think you're a great question.
That Meghan Markle podcast.
Yes, that is more dangerous.
Man, that's scary.
I bet
Just
she's
hear
not
that.
in Season X.
No. She's done. I think it lasted one
What?
season.
She'll never get to Season X.
Very few podcasts are in their 10th season when they've only been on for a year.
2.5 years.
You know what I mean? It's difficult for most podcasts to figure out 10 seasons in 12 months.
It's a miracle by our business manager. It's a strategy.
You make more money.
It's Phil.
Oh, sorry.
Phil.
Gosh,
Speaking of
dang
which,
it.
Yeah.
Season 10, Episode 3 is
You're
sponsored by Power in Indiana, Lake County, IBEW, Local 697, and NECA. Proudly introduced Powering Indiana, Lake County. Thank you for your money and your sponsorship. With over a century of experience, they've been safely wiring the region. From powering corporations along the lakefront to lighting up homes across the region, Powering Indiana, Lake County is your trusted source for electrical professionals. Visit JACT, that's JACT697.org, to join us as we continue to light the way for Northwest Indiana. Thank you to today's episode sponsor, Powering Indiana, Lake County.
Did you say thank you for your money?
Well, that was just because Phil said that it was a strategy of Steve.
Powering
their
America,
money.
we will be reaching out to you next month
Powering
for Season
Indiana.
11 sponsorship.
Powering Indiana. You're not supposed to say the other one.
Oh, what did I say?
You said Powering.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
Powering Indiana,
That's what I
Lake
meant.
County.
Can you
Yes.
bleep that out?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Bloop. Well, one of the reasons, and by the way, speaking of unions, we're going to talk about the UAW strike later. We're going to talk about the Hunter Biden indictment later. We're going to update you on Laura Boebert, and we're going to figure out whether or not Skittles and other candy are banned in California. We got a big show ahead of us, so please stay tuned. It's great to have the chief of stuff in here with us today. So welcome, Phil, and it is the start of football season, so we need to have you in.
It is. I wasn't on last season, and some people say that was the worst season of LOCPOD. So you do. I don't know. There's a correlation here somewhere.
Season 9, you were not at all?
I was not.
Not once?
I was coming in one day, and remember that was when Kelly's appendix burst.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know what? Let's blame Kelly.
Yes. She messed up your podcast.
No, she messed up you bringing on the podcast.
Oh.
I see, because the podcast would have been better.
Oh, for sure. Last season might have been one of the highest rated if I'd have made it on. But
I'm just happy John figured out how you can airdrop on your iPad. A production miracle.
there's certain little pieces of technology that just aren't making its way through.
So
right
pre-show, Phil and I, we're sitting here getting ready to go on, and Phil and I are struggling with an email, and John's just behind the screens, as he usually is, chuckling. And then he's like, why don't you just do this, Phil?
This is why he's one of the best producers in America.
In America.
Yeah.
In the Midwest.
In the Midwest, the most dangerous producer in the Midwest.
I got to figure this out.
So let's talk football.
Yeah, because there's already people in chat saying they need surefire winners.
Let's set the table. Set the table where we were last Sunday.
So
just set it up.
Opening week, right? So as the season goes on, yes, you may watch at home or at a friend's house, but opening week, you want to gather somewhere with a bunch of friends. So we decided to go to BW3's in Hammond, of course. And there was there was probably like 8 to 10 of us, just hanging out, excited, the new football season. And I wanted to let everybody know that I had a premonition that
Explain it. Sleeping, a dream.
This is true.
Waking from a slumber.
No, I was getting massaged. That's true. I was getting a massage.
Male or female?
That's not, you can't ask that.
That's irrelevant.
Per the Geneva Convention, you can't ask me. That's a HIPAA violation, and I'm not answering it.
All right, so you're getting massaged by a guy. What else happened?
So, and I'm sitting there, and you know how you when you're getting massaged, it feels so good. You're like in that state of just, you're in I don't know. It's like.
Almost like a dream state.
Like you're in heaven a little bit.
Okay,
or something.
a little bit of heaven.
And it hit me, son of a gun. The Bears are going to kill the Packers today. Like it came out of nowhere. I was like,
that's all.
This
all
is
it took.
great.
When's the next massage?
Yeah.
Did they?
So it didn't go that way.
They did not.
No. And you know what? It's one thing for me to have that premonition and bet it because, I would do that. But it's another thing to get to BW3s and say, everybody, drop everything and listen to what I'm about to tell you.
Which is what happened.
Yes. And I said,
And?
Will Ferrell standing on the pool and the anchor man.
exactly.
A very important announcement.
That's kind of what it was. And I told everybody that they're complete morons if they don't put everything they have on the Bears.
He convinced me that day. I texted him. I said, "What's your lock?" He said, "I am going heavy Bears."
The Bears? Rodgers?
And he convinced me to do touchdown Justin Fields, touchdown DJ Moore.
So anyhow, I'm bartending on weekends now.
Come check them out at B-Dubs.
Kelly wants to know what happened to my 401k.
Well, so this is this is a quote of the week from Phil. He said his strategy this year is going to be betting as if he's betting his 401k.
That's true.
So he's only going to do locks.
Okay, but I decided that after I lost the Bears bet, not before.
All right. So let's go to week 2.
Well, I'm 2-0 right now. After that, I bet a couple people to get touchdowns on Monday Night Football, and I hit them both. But I'm not gonna just throw random bets out there.
Did you bet Aaron Rodgers to snap his Achilles?
I did not.
I did. He was my starting quarterback on one of my fantasy teams.
And by the way,
Oh, no.
I've never liked Aaron Rodgers because he was on the Packers. And he was so
Me
cocky
too.
with the Bears.
That's why I took him now. I was like,
But-
he's on the Jets. He'll be all right.
But you hate to see something like that happen.
Yeah.
man.
Well, I wanted to see if he was going to be good this year.
Yes. I want to see him on the Jets. There's a lot of like.
Talk about being a Jets fan. I mean, if you're a Jets fan, you were so pumped. I saw a really funny Twitter. Do we say that anymore? A tweet or an X? What do you say, John? What's replaced the word
saw an
tweet?
X.
I saw an X.
X.
And it was like,
Sounds like
it's
porn.
the headline. Yeah, the headline was Aaron Rodgers season highlights. And it was him running out with the flag, and it said and that was it,
no.
the end.
Oh,
And it said
That's so mean.
that is mean.
You know, the worst part is they were on Hard Knocks on HBO.
I know.
So
Everyone was
everybody-
pumped.
Yes, even if you weren't a Jets fan, you were kind of watching what was going on.
Highest watched Monday Night Football ever, John. Not by percentage, but by number of people.
Packers fans and Jets fans, I feel sorry for you because you never want to see, as much as you hate somebody, you never want to see something like that happen.
You don't need to feel sorry for the Packers fans. We're good.
Well,
thanks,
all right. So let's just say it right now. Now that you're betting as if it's your 401k,
Yes.
What is your pick this week so we can move on from football?
We can't say it at the end. I want to give it
Oh,
at the
no.
very. I got to say it right.
Oh,
You
it's
wanna
a
tease
all right,
this?
tease it.
Okay.
Wait, is it a tease bet or is it just we're teasing?
No, it's just a bet.
Okay.
I'm not
Then
going to get in a
we're gonna do it at the
parlays
end. End
Yeah.
of the show.
Let's wait till the end.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
It's going to be, people got to stay on if you want to either get my lock or bet against my lock. Either way, you need to stay on here.
All right. Next thing I want to talk about is
I love the poorly educated.
I think he's talking about me, Kevin.
I didn't think he was talking about me.
Okay.
So John and actually we found that actually credit Marissa, Judge McDermott, for tracking down a copyright. And by the way, she loves copyright law, loves patent law, and so if I ever have a copyright or patent question, I always ask Marissa. But she also found what may be our biggest LOCPOD case ever that we might be able to really make some money here.
I like this.
John, you want to throw up this?
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Ooh.
So we got texted this logo. It's CNN's new logo.
It's
Now-
a blatant ripoff.
John, if you were Mark Anderson who designed our logo, I think he'd be pissed.
Blatant.
God.
I mean, like, why didn't CNN just hire Mark Anderson and do a?
I really should do a side by side.
So all right. So for those that are listening,
Can you
yeah.
do a
So
side
those
by
that,
side? Yeah.
So for
Let me
those that
figure
are
this out. Hold
listening,
on.
the CNN logo now looks exactly like the left of center logo, with the fading from the blue to the red,
For sure.
with the
same
purple in the
colors.
middle.
For sure.
and the same font.
Yeah.
Look at the
It is-
lines in our.
It is
Oh.
not the same font.
All right, thank
God.
you, Jill. She's better at that than I am. But
Where
can you
do,
put
I
it next?
find, where do I find LOCPOD's logo?
Oh, I
You don't have it saved.
left
Hold
of
on.
center. Left of center. Facebook. Left.
Facebook.
It's on the screen right now. John's looking for it. But anyway, side by side.
This
To me, it looks. John's. You're a production miracle
everything's
worker,
behind
John.
a freaking wall now.
You
Even
guys-
our logo.
He's kicked off of Facebook.
Yeah,
All right. Well, John will throw it up when he gets a chance. But
but yeah, look
Safe
at
to
this one.
say-
Let me put this back up here.
there's CNN.
They look.
Oh wait, the logo's in screens. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it's so dumb. All right, you guys can see it behind Kevin and Phil, and then you got the CNN one
at
on
that.
here on screen.
It's identical, Kevin. Same colors. The lettering. They
fade,
went white.
I
Yep.
think we have something here. I think Marissa's right.
If only we had copyrighted left of center logo.
You didn't trademark it?
That's the same as
Kevin.
when you're
I'm
writing
sorry,
a term
trademark.
paper and you just change a couple words in the sentence and it's a different sentence.
Or if you have AI do it for you.
Can I ask
This
a
is-
dumb,
If you're
you know
in
what? I
charge of
think
ads and you have
CNN
AI
said,
do it?
AI, get us a new logo.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Yeah.
If you're a sitting judge, can you practice law in a court, obviously
No.
outside
Well,
of Indiana?
so city court and town court judges can practice law, but like Marissa or other elected or appointed judges by the state that cannot.
Wow.
Yes,
Because I
but
would have hired her.
if you're a city court judge or a town court judge, you can.
Got it. Okay.
So at this point, our theme song has been stolen, and our logo has been stolen.
That's what we got. Shannon Sharp and now CNN.
So this is, you know what? This is your fault because you guys became so popular that people are ripping off everything now. That's your fault.
They're like, these guys.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they didn't trademark their logo.
You don't think that happened?
Steve put in chat, Sursik, LOCPOD v. CNN.
Ooh,
now that would put us on the
whoa.
map. Can we just file that lawsuit just to get the headline?
Wow.
That would make people watch, I think.
All right.
I went in on it. Can I be on the
Ku Klux Law.
There it
Caucus
is.
law. We
Start
need you.
working on it.
If only someone trademarked our logo.
Yes.
If only like we had an attorney on our team.
If anyone, you're right, that was awake, ready to pounce.
Well,
Where's Cantrell and Cantrell?
You know what? Bringing it to the public and letting them know what happened is the most important part of this. So they know now that CNN stole
Let them
this.
take it.
Yes.
Let them light up CNN's chat.
Yes.
I think LOCPOD has more viewers than CNN anyways. So,
Oh.
You know what we could do? We could ask one of our viewers to send an email to CNN and put the logos and say let them know they're pissed.
This is my favorite show, and look what you've done.
Yeah. So somebody do that.
I think that's like an assignment for Laura. Laura seems like she would be good at that.
She would do that.
Yes.
Yeah, she'd be good at it.
She's a super fan.
And Laura and I made up now.
Oh,
I think
What?
I don't know what's in the chat right now. She could be
Hold
asking
on.
for my demise.
Breaking news. Laura and Phil make up.
So, you talked about on your podcast the baseball game that everybody went to. All the left of center
Oilman.
people.
Yeah.
Yep. So I was there too.
got the hat right here.
So Laura and I got to chat a little bit, and I finally said,
was there a hug
Laura,
involved?
We might have. I can't remember now. But I said, Laura, what's the real issue? And as it turns out, she won the gift card when we had the game. I think it was the game of Kevin versus Tom.
Yeah,
Season 1.
Which Jeff and I got to do again someday because it was still one of the funniest ones, in my opinion.
Of course.
And she never got the gift card. And the sad part of that is, Kevin, that gift card was here.
Oh, no.
Now, it got here late. It was like
never
6
got
months
here.
late.
6 months, is that all?
Maybe 4 months. Okay, it was late, but it got here. And I remember saying, please get this to the person that won.
Well, Phil, given your betting prowess, you've got money just blown out of your wallet right now. Why don't you just get her a new gift card? That'd be the real way to.
More likely,
this?
the
Oh, that was
scenario
great.
is
That was great.
I lost money betting, and I had to sell the gift card to get some money back into my betting account. That's more likely the scenario.
Like for pennies on the dollar.
I got a buy-away card for 25. I'll sell you for 10.
So Laura, you're saying she held a grudge for months over what
Years.
was it? A $25 gift card?
Something like that.
Through probably 6 seasons,
And-
7 or 8 seasons.
So don't get on Laura's bad side.
No.
Because if she holds a grudge over a $25 gift card, imagine like something more severe. And then also, Phil, you're blaming someone in here for stealing that gift card. Is this correct?
Yeah, I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to pick out a certain person, but I'm telling you that it could be somebody in this room.
Okay.
You figure it out.
Yeah, well, it was here for a while, and I was, maybe
I've seen you at Byway, Kevin.
I've been there.
I never
have you ever
saw
seen
it
me
in
use
here.
a gift card there?
I've never run into Jill at Byway other than when we've had lunch. I've never run into John at Byway, although I did run into John's Amy Vesmar.
Happy birthday, by the way, to Amy.
Happy birthday, Amy.
Oh, thank you guys.
But
That's
she
very
was
nice.
at Byway, and she was smiling a lot. And when they gave her the bill,
She
it
wasn't
seemed
there
like
with me.
she wasn't pulling out any credit cards or cash. Amy, okay. all
You
right.
solved the crime.
We can move on, but
All right.
I think I figured
Well,
this
the
out.
upside is you and Laura have made up.
I hope so. Laura, you're a wonderful, nice person, and let's be friends.
And super fan.
Super fan.
All right, so you want to talk about cold medicine or you want to do some ads?
Well, it's up to you. This cold medicine one is fun, but
All right, do it.
okay. So obviously, if people haven't seen this,
This is amazing.
I was going through my X, as I have to say now. I
I gotta
guess
get the verb. I don't know what the verb is.
and it,
Xed?
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm
It's
scrolling
Xing.
through, and this one hit me. Is cold medicine a fraud? And I'm like, what is this? As it turns out,
Have you? Quick question.
Yeah, go
As
ahead.
a father,
yep,
have you given Carter cold medicine?
of course I have.
Sure.
I've taken it. My wife's taken it. Carter, my oldest son Nate has taken it. We all have, right? Everybody in this room
Absolutely.
at one point. And that's a great way of putting it. Your children are more important. When we're sick, we'll get through it. We're tough, whatever. But your kids,
You're running to Walgreens. You're running to CVS. I need to go get some cold medicine.
And all of a sudden, it comes out. The FDA is saying that this one ingredient, which is phenylephrine. Thank you. That's found in most common cold medicines: NyQuil, Benadryl, Sudafed, Mucinex. Turns out, it's not effective in helping your stuffy nose at all. Can you now think about this? Your kid is just dying. His nose is stuffed. He can't clear it. Don't worry. Take this
and you maybe
medicine.
give him like an extra dose, even maybe.
Of
like this will really
course.
clear you up.
Yes. As it turns out, it wasn't doing anything.
So the thing I found interesting is like there's 16. I forget what they call them on the panel, right? Or FDA advisors or whatever. All 16 found that this was ineffective.
But doesn't it lead itself to a question of these medicine, all of these that we're bringing up have been out for a very long time. Why did it just come out?
That's a great question.
That it's not working.
Yeah. It took the Biden administration to figure this out.
How many people sent letters to the Food and Drug Administration saying, it's weird. My son took NyQuil and Benadryl, but his stuffy nose isn't going away. It took them how many years to figure out that this wasn't effective?
Well, this though. The same research challenged drug effectiveness in 2007, but the FDA allowed it to remain on the market.
Pending additional research.
Wow.
Well, 16 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So this is another crazy thing I thought that was very interesting in it. Last year, 242 million bottles of these drugs were sold.
What's the math on that? What are these, like $15 a pop or something?
I would say probably 8, 12.
For sure.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
Depending on the size. And they said that this could significantly affect retail pharmacy chains, which rake in revenue from selling these over-the-counter cold and allergy pills. Whoa.
This is crazy. And by the way, doesn't this make you think, what other medicine am I purchasing at a very high price that is also not effective?
The vaccine.
Oh, I'm getting my booster, I think, as soon as it comes out.
God.
But you remember?
Are not, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Serious?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Your COVID booster?
Yeah. Why not?
But John, in all,
I don't know why
I've never
I'm
had
here
any,
anymore. I got to
I've
be
never-
honest. I am
I've
so
had no
shocked.
I've had no side effects from any of the boosters, and I think it's helping.
but John, if we base results,
Plus, it'll clear your stuffy nose.
Exactly. It's got a better chance than
well, this also
than
says
Mucinex.
that behind-the-counter meth-producing stuff has a better chance of
yeah.
working.
Do you remember when they pulled, John, you remember when they pulled like all the cold medicine behind the counter because
Yeah.
people were using it for meth?
Yes.
They said that has that may be the answer. Like
Oh,
that,
my.
If we go by the FDA's recent history, you know when we'll find out if the vaccine was effective, John?
2039.
Exactly. 30 years from now, we'll know if we did the right thing.
And by that time, I'll probably have had about 15 or 18 vaccine or
Yes,
boosters.
you'll just keep taking them.
Yeah.
Kevin, do you get a flu
My
shot
heart will
too?
stop. You know what? Actually, I will get a flu shot this year. I didn't get one last year, and I got the flu.
Are they saying it's going to be
Or I
pretty
had
intense
COVID.
this year? The flu?
Haven't heard yet.
Haven't heard?
Mm-mm.
I'm the opposite of Kevin. I'm not going to get any more boosters
Okay.
as of right now. And now if I hear there's some that the
Oh my
COVID
God.
is becoming more dangerous again, like people are dying from it again, then maybe I consider. But right now, it
My
doesn't.
theory, unproven, is just that if you get it, it becomes more mild.
But
if
you know,
have
it's a
the booster.
personal choice.
Personal choice.
You know, if John doesn't want to get the vaccine, fine. If
Don't
you want to
get
get it, get it.
Yes, agree.
Don't vaccine shame anybody.
I'm not criticizing John for not getting
Yes.
it.
I'm actually just still stuck on you, Phil, saying you're not getting the booster. Like I'm so. I just want to give you a big hug. Like there's still hope for you.
And then you're
going
to get COVID.
Yeah, John, don't jinx me right now.
Don't hug him.
If I'm dead next week,
You.
you're going to feel
It's
real
from the
stupid.
vaccine.
It's from the
It's not
vaccine.
from
The
COVID.
lack of vaccine.
John, I think John did tell me one time when I first got the vaccine, he said within 3 years,
You're gonna be
something
dead.
very bad is going to
Not what
happen.
I read. Mm-mm.
And it's been 3 years.
That is fake news.
Oh, okay.
No.
Hasn't been 3 years yet.
No?
No.
What was the when did it? What was the first year? Was it?
Oh, maybe you're right.
It was 2020, right?
You're right.
I
You're
don't
right. It
know.
has been 3 years.
I don't
All
know.
right, let's do some ads. Come
Yeah.
back. We got Hunter Biden indictment, which I'm sure John's going to want to chime in on.
I actually have nothing to say about it.
Just
Whoa.
no comment.
No comment.
UAW goes on strike, and Laura Boebert, along with why are they banning candy in California?
Yes.
All right.
Great show.
Phil, start us up.
Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltzenberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing always on time and within budget. Visit them at misprintindiana.com to bring your vision to life today. Misprint, your partner for creating impactful visual solutions.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. When you're facing legal challenges or injuries, they're here to guide you through the process. Their dedicated team, including John and Kristen Cantrell, is in court and at the jail every day, ready to fight for your rights. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com to discover how they can make a difference in your case.
Calumet Brewing, Busch Light, the coldest and smoothest light lager. Phil, you like Busch Light?
I'm sure.
Sure.
If they're if they're a sponsor for you, then I do.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yes.
Is calling you, Phil, to embrace the great outdoors, the roar of NASCAR, and the joy of cracking a cold one. Celebrate life's moments with Busch Light. Then head over to Cal Brew on Facebook or Instagram for a chance to win a really cool Busch Light Igloo cooler. Sweeps are running through September. Visit Busch.com and their social media pages for exciting updates and events. Head for the mountain of Busch Light and enjoy beers and cheers responsibly.
Does John do ads as well?
He can, sure, John. I'm just
I'll do one.
Yeah,
Prestimer, you got Prestimer in front of
there
you?
you go.
man.
Do it.
For decades, the Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency has been your trusted neighbor right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. Their wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, and life insurance, has helped over 1,000 individuals and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
John's got a great radio voice.
Calming.
Yeah.
Calming.
That's why he was the voice for City Hall for so many years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still is.
Still is.
Voice of City Hall.
That's what I would call it, the City Hall voicemail.
Thank you for calling the
City
City
Hall.
of Hammond.
Halloween-
I almost forgot. I haven't done it in a while.
He's like, who do I work for?
yeah.
Halloween's coming up.
Yeah.
It's just last year's Halloween.
Is there a trunk or treat this
audio
year?
that's still going?
No,
That's
we haven't
true.
done that in years.
No, okay.
Our voicemail has been known to
Not since
be
COVID.
about a month or two behind sometimes.
Don't be. That's generous.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Moving on.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Thank you to our sponsors.
He is risen. A representative will be with you in a moment.
All right, we're supposed to stay away from JC. Remember?
Oh, who said that?
No, we were talking about that last because we were saying what were we?
Titling the episode.
Yes. What was
Christ would never ride a e-bike or
E-bike,
something like that.
right.
Should we name it that? Should we not?
I was
it? All
gonna
right. Well, let's
say.
talk about the indictment of the week, which is Hunter Biden.
Yes.
So the interesting thing about this, right, is that Hunter Biden had a deal with the federal prosecutor about, I don't know, over the summer, 3-4 months ago, right, where he was going to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax charges and go under like what would be called like a diversion program, like almost like on probation over the gun charge.
Sure.
And it stems from like a purchase that Hunter Biden made of a gun at a Delaware gun shop, 2018,
Okay.
and now he's indicted for it.
So
Just the gun charge, by the way.
and I know we're going to dig into this, but it also said he only owned the gun for 11 days.
11 days.
What? So did they say what happened after 11 days? How do they know he sold
I don't know what
it?
happened to the gun.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
I mean, there's got to be some proof that 11 days later he either sold it or did something, right?
There's got to be a video.
I mean,
Jim Jordan's got to have a video.
no matter what comes from us, don't you want to know why he thought he needed that gun
For 11
for
days.
11 days?
I
Something
would
was
like
going
there's a
on.
backstory to this.
Yes.
You know, you're right. It's like, let's talk about the facts.
Yeah.
What'd you do with the gun, for an unloaded gun, allegedly, for 11 days?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
We only had it for 11
days.
So-
And next thing you know, you're indicted federally for
Maybe
it.
he was like, this was a bad idea.
Well, the prosecutors are alleging that he was addicted to drugs at the time.
Well, see, that's the crux of this. This is so weird, right? So the federal offense that they're saying he was indicted for is lying on the ATF form at the Delaware gun shop.
Mm-hmm.
The lie is that it asks you on the federal gun form when you go for your background check, are you currently under the influence of any drugs or alcohol or anything that would, influence your ability to, safely use the gun or something like that? He said no.
Right.
And then the indictment says he was struggling with crack cocaine at the time, addiction at the time. But I mean, John, taking away the political aspect of this.
You can't.
Is
you
that,
can't take away the political aspect.
All right,
of this.
then looking at the facts I just stated them,
Yeah.
does it seem kind of weird that they have to, because it's almost like they have to prove the drug use at the time to say that he lied on the form.
You're thinking like an attorney right now.
Yeah, that. It just seems, I mean, maybe they've got witnesses. They indicted him. It's an element of the offense.
It couldn't be all the videos he had at the time walking around naked with like crack rocks and stuff.
It could be.
That
could be evidence.
It literally could be.
It could be that, John.
Are they
Could be
dated,
the
John?
evidence. I don't
Do you know
know
if they're dated? No.
I don't know, but everyone's seen the videos.
Does the video have crack in it?
I don't know, man.
Okay,
But Kevin, if
I
you
just
indict,
I haven't seen them.
If you indict and you supposedly have proof that he was addicted to some drug during that time, you got to have either some video or what else would you have?
Sure.
I mean, what I would say is that federal prosecutors, I think, are generally very careful about taking something to a grand jury, and they usually are thinking that I can win this case if I'm going to do it. Now, this is a weird one, right? Because this U.S. attorney, his name's Weiss, I believe was a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney, and he got a whole hell of a lot of heat from a lot of Republicans in Congress when he presented the plea agreement. John, would you agree with that statement? Yeah. And so the plea agreement, here's
and a lot of the public, the American public.
Some of the American public, sure. And so when there's a plea agreement, the judge still has to review it and accept it.
Right.
In this case, the judge reviewed it, had significant questions about it, and didn't accept it, which again threw everything back into the special prosecutor's lap, who then decided to take this part to the grand jury. I saw an article by Hunter Biden's attorney, and it was actually pretty interesting, which said this violates our agreement, this violates our plea agreement that we had to go ahead and indict him. So I think that's going to be interesting too, if he can say wait, we had a deal, just because the judge didn't accept it. What?
Whoa.
So I don't know.
That's attorney stuff right there.
I'd love to hear what John has to say about that.
Okay.
John Cantrell, attorneys at law, and of course, and our John.
Well, because there's 3 counts here, and all 3 of them all tie to the drugs.
Yeah, count 1 is falsely swearing that he wasn't addicted to illegal drugs or using illegal drugs on the form.
Yep.
Count 2 is lying to the federally licensed gun dealer in Wilmington. I thought it was to an agent.
Right.
It was lying to the
guy
to the
buying
gun
the gun
dealer,
from. Right.
when he bought the gun, and the lie was the same sworn statement on the form. And count 3 accuses him of illegally possessing a gun while using drugs or being addicted to drugs, which is a federal crime. He possessed the gun for 11 days. And his attorney's like, this has never been charged.
Yeah. So that's the question is how are they going to prove that he was addicted to drugs, right?
Yeah.
There's one thing you could prove he was on drugs at the time, but addicted to drugs, that's
It's
Oh,
subjective.
you can be on drugs and buy a gun. You just can't be addicted to drugs and buy a gun.
It says using or
The
addicted.
loophole.
Using or addicted, John. So using would be.
Let's say first night of your life, you do cocaine and you run to the gun store and you purchase a gun.
Which actually isn't
Probably
that
that has
far
happened.
off. Yeah.
That has happened.
Yeah, it's had to have. You don't know how you're going to react to cocaine.
Right.
You might feel like you need a gun.
Several maybe even.
Yeah, so they're asking, are you addicted? You could be like, no, I just did cocaine today. But
One time. I'm not there yet.
I'm not addicted to it.
Ask me that tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a question for
Another
a
day.
different day. So, but that's the real question as an attorney, and obviously, Kevin, you're the guy we got right now.
That's all
so
we got.
we'll use you. How do you prove he was addicted? So they got to have evidence, right? You can't. I know they say you can indict a grilled cheese sandwich or whatever that stupid thing.
Ham sandwich,
whatever. But that I'm interested to see. Will it come out what their actual evidence was, or is this going to be sealed somewhere and never going to hear it?
No, I mean I think he is indicted. He's got to answer the charges.
But have they given all the evidence? When you indict, you've got to supply all the evidence up front.
You can have a sealed indictment, but this wasn't sealed that I know of. I think it was available
Well, then
to
we
look
should
at.
be able to pull it up. then.
Yeah, you could pull it up.
I want to see his
The
proof
facts.
that he was addicted.
Well, and remember, the government will lay out its proof, but that doesn't mean that's all the proof they may have for trial, right?
Gotcha.
I mean, so
Okay. See,
they don't
that's
have to
what
lay
I'm
out
getting
every.
at.
They don't have to lay out every fact they have or every witness at this point. And the other thing that Biden's attorney said was, he slammed the special counsel David Weiss and said, "What's changed is Jim Jordan, Jim Comer, and Jason Smith, and all the Republican screamers. That's what changed." And so, John's right. You can't take the politics out of this. I haven't really thought through whether or not or how much damage to the Justice Department, between the Trump indictments and now the Biden indictments, it just seems like
It's bad.
Well,
it's like
I mean,
we're
and-
weaponizing.
oh
this
god, I
stuff.
knew that word was going to come out.
No. Okay, what words would you say?
I don't know.
But I'm speaking generally. Like you have all these Trump indictments. Now you got the Hunter indictment. You got Biden with the impeachment looking into impeaching him, whatever you want to call it. They're not impeaching him. They're opening up an impeachment inquiry, whatever that fucking means. So there's just a lot of like weird stuff going on.
Yeah, and I think so. The reason I kind of like stood up when you said weaponize, because it seems to me like weaponizing it implies that there is some intentional action to, cause harm or something. Whereas,
Well, is there
I'm
not?
taking a better. Well, no, I don't know if there is, and I'm taking maybe the more innocent, and maybe that's just me with blinders on approach, saying like, if these are crimes, they should be charged, and it just happens to be high-profile defendants.
But Kevin, just one example. You have some DAs who ran campaigns saying, "I promise you, I am going to get Trump." How is that,
John?
not
I'm talking,
weaponizing?
and I'm talking about. You said weaponizing the Justice Department. I'm not
Okay,
weighing
you're
in
not talking
on
about
Georgia,
state,
New
district
York
attorneys.
Right. I'm
Okay.
talking about the federal government and the U.S. attorneys. And the U.S. attorneys I know, they really hold the trust and in their position, and they take their position very seriously. And I think they want to do the right thing, whether that's to indict, to not indict. And so I would think, David Weiss and the U.S. attorney who
What's his name?
thank you, I'm forgetting his name, Jack Smith.
Yeah.
That they did the same thing. And
God, do you see some of these tweets that Trump puts out about Jack Smith?
Oh, yeah.
Deranged Jack Smith.
well, I mean,
wow.
I can't. I mean, it's just shocking. I think actually the mayor said that too. He's like, man, this guy is losing his marbles. Man, you should not be going after a U.S. attorney.
Right?
Like,
Can
yeah.
you imagine?
And the judge.
Yeah.
The judge. Like, what?
He's making it worse for himself, right?
I think he is. I mean, let me put it this way: if he gets convicted, he sure is.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, you know what? Instead of saying, okay, the whole weaponizing conversation, it's becoming more common to go after high-profile politicians, or in this case, politicians' families. It's becoming more common now to dig up anything and everything you can and to go after people. So it's not weaponizing necessarily, but it certainly is becoming more common these days.
I hate to say it. I'm on Left of Center podcast right now. I know you guys are going to jump all over me, but I think the Democrats set the precedent for this when you guys impeached Trump like 2-3 times during his presidency. You were just impeaching him like candy, man. It was just like, I think that really set the precedent. I really do.
Could be, but I mean, when you make calls to other countries and say
About
hey,
Biden's corruption.
if you
Okay.
say, "Hey, I'm not going to give you money
Unless you investigate my opponent.
I mean,
for blatant corruption.
You're saying it, but he did some things that that no other president has ever done before.
Well, and that's the thing. I think, John, you and I were actually talking about this. It's like every day it's like, for the first time in American history, ...
Yeah.
Right? I mean, right? It's
exactly.
That I don't think that's happened at
Pretty
such
wild.
a pace since,
Yes.
except for when Trump has become president.
Right.
I mean, it's true.
Know. But some of us who weren't fans of Trump thought
Impeached
that
twice.
most
for
of the
example.
things that were coming out of his mouth weren't honest. He would just say what he wanted to say that helped him politically and helped him move things forward, but it wasn't honest. And I know a lot of presidents lie. I'm not naive, but man, he took it to a level that we haven't seen.
It's a new level.
I think as we wrap this up, I think the comment of the day goes to Steve Sirsik, who said, "So the lesson is to buy the gun first. Before you get
become
addicted to drugs, buy your guns, folks."
And I agree. And
So that's why Steve's a better lawyer than me.
He's so good.
the other part I want to know about this is how can they prove it was an unloaded gun for 11 days? Obviously, that's Hunter saying that.
Yeah. How do you
would think.
prove that?
How do you prove? Nobody it was in your house and checking your gun to see if it
But
was
that's not a crime.
No, I get it. But I'm saying the whole thing is just a little.
Yeah, how do you know it was
hokey.
unloaded?
Yeah. Oh, he was addicted. He wasn't addicted. It was loaded.
He was using,
loaded.
he wasn't using.
It's just weird.
What's the
man.
point
wonder-
of an unloaded gun?
That's a good question.
I mean, you can threaten somebody without fear of killing them.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
But the threat is the same.
Agreed. I'm not saying. I mean,
That's
I'm just saying you may feel better about yourself because you're not really gonna. You can't kill them, but you could threaten them. You could also pistol whip somebody with an unloaded gun.
That's true.
Reminds me of the episode of The Office where the guy bought a gun, but he doesn't carry it around with him because it gets stolen all the time. So he just shows the receipt to people of the gun that he has.
I didn't see that.
To put fear into people.
Yes.
Yes.
He's like, look how much I paid for the gun that I can't carry around with me because people keep stealing it. It's a great episode.
All right. Well, I think we ran Hunter Biden to ground, at least for now. I mean, it's going to be curious to see how it all pans out. I mean, the charges don't seem too, like, it's not like he killed someone, he shot somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's he lied on a federal form, and now he's indicted for it.
And if we're teaching the young children out there, don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, and be very careful about buying weapons.
Yeah, because I don't think there's no secret that he did have some sort of
Drug problem. For sure,
Yeah.
right? I mean, and that brings all this to bear as well. I mean, the guy's, it reminds me of, this is going to show my age, but Billy Carter, when he was, President Carter's big thorn in his side, his brother. But
Back
Do you
then,
think
you could
those
hide it.
over-the-counter pills fall under the drug thing for this?
maybe the stuff behind the counter, the meth stuff.
Yeah.
That could be his defense. The FDA is going to prove that cocaine never actually
Crack
cocaine never actually had any effect on anybody.
And you can't get addicted to it.
Nope.
So I wasn't addicted.
If I was him, I'd be talking to the FDA right now.
Those 16 advisors.
Yes.
They're on a roll right now.
All you need is what? 9 of them.
That's it.
You don't need
for majority.
You don't need all of them.
I don't think it's like that.
Oh, no.
No. It's not. It doesn't work that way.
All right. Well, this was breaking news overnight. And, being in kind of Northwest Indiana, which is a very big union area, we actually, one of our today's episode sponsor is Powering Indiana, Lake County. UAW, United Auto Workers, went on strike at midnight.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And you said this is unprecedented. I don't know the history, obviously, of auto.
Here we go again.
worker strike.
Unprecedented. The first time in America.
That's everything today. But so all 3 of the big companies are all in on this, which is a problem.
Yeah, they're striking Ford, GM, and Stellantis, which, of course, used to be Chrysler. So
Everybody knows who Stellantis is.
Who doesn't?
I mean, come on. You'd have to be
You'd have to hear before the show. You'd have to be here before the show started to know who in this room didn't. Can I do that back to you now?
Dang it. Dang it.
Me neither.
We're sitting here
Thank
during
you,
the
Joe.
intro song. Feels like, who is Stellantis?
And who cares if anyone's striking against that?
Yeah.
So I'm not a car guy. No, I do care. We have Lear facility in Hammond.
Yes.
There's probably, 1,000 workers there?
Without a doubt.
So this is going to have a major effect in Hammond.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope they get this resolved quickly. But what kind of
I was
effect is
curious
it?
about the fact that because they only struck, I don't know what the word is, striked.
X.
Thank you, X. Exactly. 3 different facilities. I was wondering if that means maybe they're getting close, and this is kind of like, see what we can do if you don't get this deal worked out. Maybe.
They're
I don't
laying
know.
the groundwork for something bigger.
Well, that, or this is interesting. I was reading about this. They're calling this a stand-up strike, which is a new strategy by the UAW or by any large union. And this is the union. The head of the union is only been there for 5 months,
Okay.
but he's been involved in a lot of labor negotiations and kind of like stirring the pot type stuff. He's a popularly elected UAW president. Apparently, the workers love him. And he said that this stand-up strike is a new approach to walking off the job. As time goes on, more locals may be called up to stand up and join the strike. This gives us maximum leverage and maximum flexibility in our fight to win a fair contract at each of the big 3 automakers. So right now, the UAW strike is at GM's Wentzville, Missouri, which has 3,600 members there. Ford's Michigan truck plant in Wayne, which has 3,300 members, and Stellantis's, Phil, that's used to be Chrysler.
Thank you.
Toledo's assembly complex, where 5,800 will be on strike. So there's 145,000, give or take, members of the UAW, and so you've got about 10,000 of them, if my math's right, 12,000 of them on strike right now.
And it's saying this could cost their fund more than $70 million a week.
Well, yeah, so that is if everybody, so the UAW has a strike fund. Mm-hmm. If everybody gets $500 a week if they're on strike. They said that might be another reason they only put 12,000 on, because if everybody went on, it would be $70 million a week, and they've got $850 million in the fund. So
this is a much bigger thing to me. I feel like now these days, people are realizing that the ultra rich are making a shit ton of money, and now unions have been around a long time, so I get that. But even this ties into what they're doing in California, which is every fast food worker is going to pretty soon is going to be making $20 an hour. Wow. And it's the people are speaking up and saying we're tired of the rich making millions and millions of dollars while we're getting paid this little amount, and they're coming together and saying we want more.
Well, and UAW workers, I think they've got great benefits. They've got a lot great pay. And the thing I read, and this was interesting, I don't know if it's true, not true, or how true it is, and that is that a lot of the requests that they're making, because it's a pretty significant request. I think it's a 20% raise.
Whoa.
Kevin, I thought
and then
it's,
another 20% raise over
40 over the next 4 years.
40 over the
or
next 4
something.
years, but 20 immediately, or 20 really close, maybe 20 over 2, and then another 20 over the following 4, something like that. So 40% over 5 years. But the UAW is saying a lot of what we're asking for is what we gave away and gave back to the companies when they almost went bankrupt in 2010.
Gotcha.
So when the auto industry was on the verge of collapse, and that was when Obama came in, the Obama administration came in, shored up the auto industry to save them, and UAW said we gave a lot back at that point, so we're asking for some back now. And the auto industry, according to what I read, was the most profitable year was last year, billions of dollars in profits.
Well, everybody knows when after COVID, it was almost impossible to get a car.
Yeah.
You had to wait like 6 months to get a new vehicle or something.
It seems to me like the auto industry is so integrated between plants, like maybe they're also saying like these specific plants will really could cripple the assembly line.
So
With
they
you know what I
know
mean,
what they're
like
doing.
yeah, like oh these guys make transmissions over here and wherever they're at, and next thing you know, there's no transmissions around.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of UAW guys around here, right?
Oh, with the Ford plant on the southeast side of Chicago, that's a huge plant.
Yes.
I think it used to make Tauruses, now it does Explorers, I think, and maybe Expeditions, but it's a huge plant. A lot of Northwest Indiana folks
that's what I'm saying.
work in the Ford
This is
plant.
going to affect a lot of people in this
Good,
area.
but they're still on the job. They just
But-
might not have parts.
So it's saying the car companies are offering 20%, but these guys want 40% over X amount of years.
And there's a bunch of other things. And the other thing I read about is I guess the plants or the companies hire temporary workers, and they want to stop that. They want to only have union workers there.
Yeah.
Right? And the last thing I read was this whole shift to EV. I know that's been a topic on the pod before, is that they're saying over the last century, 65 plants in America have closed, auto plants. And now they're saying more are going to close because they're going to EV, which is more efficient building. There's less moving parts, less mechanical parts, so you need less workers.
Wow. So it also talks about the scandal of, the most famous car company, Stellantis, that we're all aware of, that we all know very well,
Yeah.
that they were bribing union officials at one point, which obviously...
A couple of union bosses went to jail because of a bribing scandal between Stellantis and the UAW.
Ooh.
And that was one of the reasons I think that this new guy that's in, I've just started to read a little bit more about him. It's really fascinating. Has so much support.
Okay.
And I think they trust him. So
Well,
we're going to see what happens. John, do you have any auto workers close to you?
My dad's a retired
Wow.
Ford worker. Yeah.
What is he? Have you talked to your dad about the strike?
He's sent a lot of articles about it leading up to the strike, that it's looming and things like that. He's had some things to say before about this temporary worker loophole they've been
Interesting.
using for a while. No one likes it because essentially it allows them to hire people without any benefits and
no
lower
union
wages.
workers, right?
Exactly.
So your dad's a big pro UAW
Yeah.
supporter. Did he ever say anything to you about the new leader?
No, not that I
I'll
recall.
be curious. Okay, wow. All right, so this is like a
But like you can imagine, like my dad was never happy. Like when he was at Ford with the contracts, when you have to vote,
Yeah.
he was never like
Always
fully
voted no.
satisfied with what the contracts were.
the contract just won, just got voted through 842 to 1.
That was my dad. Yeah, so
But he is kind of pro the strike at this point. Like they should be fighting. For
I would
wages,
think
or-
so. Yeah, but he's also like thinks the union could always be doing more too for the workers. So that's my
Never
dad,
enough.
folks.
Never enough for
feel like
Mr. Vesmar.
Rudy Vesmar was eating lunch alone quite a bit back in the day. Which, by the way, he's my second favorite Vesmar. Rudy is, because obviously Paul is first.
Paul's first.
Absolutely.
Paul's in chat today. Paul's very lively in chat
I
today about
noticed
Hunter.
that. I
Nice.
noticed that.
Yeah.
Paul's a good guy. You have a good
Love
family,
Paul.
John.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, we may not line politically, but you
we don't.
not all the time.
Shocked.
Not all the time. But you have a good family.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
do some ads.
Let's
We're
do
going to
some
talk
ads.
Laura Boebert when we come back, and we're going to, because she's just one of those topics. If she's in the news, we have to talk about her.
We have to.
Yes.
And we're going to finish with Candy and Phil's pick.
Phil's pick. That's what everyone's sticking around
Everybody
for.
wants it.
Yep.
Byway Brewing. Byway Brewing, a family-friendly microbrewery, welcomes you to their spacious tap room and outdoor patio. Enjoy award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven menu, and craft draft cocktails. Their unique brewing equipment and production facility provide a perfect backdrop for private events, whether it's a bridal shower, reunion, or corporate party. With their new food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Customer service is our top priority at Byway Brewing. just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.com.
Are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait.
Whoa.
Sorry. Bywaybrewing.beer.
There you go.
You get used to saying com.
Dave Toth just texted you.
Yeah. That was a quick fix. Otherwise, you'd had to pay back some of your sponsorship dollars.
Is your lobster roll still on the menu?
It is. Man, it's so good.
Might be somewhere I might go to lunch today.
You got to try their lobster.
I had it. It's unbelievable.
And
I had it because you told me to have it.
It was only a special for a while, and they kept selling out of it. And I finally convinced them to throw it on the menu, and it's selling like hotcakes.
You just can. I know where I'm going to lunch today.
Boom.
By the way, Steve, if you're in the office, we're going to lunch today.
Wow.
It is.
By the
If
way,
you're not, get to the office.
if you're not, order me carry out.
All right, LOCPOD, you heard it. Kevin's buying lunch at
Yes.
Byway today.
with
Get
Laura's
over
gift
there.
card.
Yes.
Get over there at noon.
Secret's out.
We're going to check if you use a gift card. It's going to be off.
Laura's going to really be pissed at me. All right.
Holy moly!
I told you.
I can't wait to get into
I told
this
you about that
article.
dress
Yep.
she was
What?
wearing. Laura Boebert, stay tuned. All right,
She
Jill.
just doesn't care.
Don't give it
man.
away.
She's giving it away.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it looks
here we
like
go.
it. Whoop. Whoop.
Hey, now.
That was a sad.
What a sad.
Yes. Here it comes.
What an unfortunate
you go.
presentation that just was.
Anyway,
Jill.
moving on.
Anywho, are you currently navigating? What?
Anywho.
Let's start again.
What is going on right
What's
now?
happening?
We've
We're all
lost
looking
control.
at Boebert's dress.
Yeah.
Where's the locomotive when we need them?
Bring
to keep us on
things
track.
right on track.
Yes.
This can't be real.
We're off the tracks.
Anyway,
Are you currently navigating complex legal challenges, unsure of where to turn for guidance? Your search ends here with Kuklakis Law, your trusted partner for legal solutions in Indiana and Illinois. Whether you're seeking expert representation for real estate transactions, need assistance in forming your business, or have experienced a personal injury at work or in a car crash, Kuklakis Law is here for you. No matter the nature of your legal issue, their team is ready to help. Call Kuklakis Law today at 219-671-6347 to schedule your free consultation. Hablamos Español.
Rogers Roofing. When you demand nothing but the best for your home and family, trust the industry leader, Rogers Roofing. For over 54 years, they've been transforming homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland. Their commitment to quality shines through in their roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the most comprehensive warranty in the business. Visit their website at Rogers Roofing, that's ROGERS roofing.com, or call 219-933-9145 to schedule your free consultation. That's rogersroofing.com, 933-9145. That's area code 219. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
Very good. We done?
No.
Oh.
We've got a song.
Oh, Tortillas Nuevo Leon. Tortillas Nuevo Leon sets the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for their iconic red and white label at your local grocery store. Indulge in the finest Mexican products crafted with local expertise and savor the taste of authenticity. Who is writing these things? Somebody's using some really
Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
Yes.
Wow, the quality has gone up. Discover the flavors of Tortillas
Whoa.
Nuevo Leon today.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Whoa.
Hey.
Is that just in our ears?
Somebody's jumping the gun.
Thank you,
No
Eli.
one heard that.
Thank you to our sponsors.
Yeah.
Thank you to all of our sponsors. All right, we're coming back out of our last break, and boy, Lauren. I'm sorry, John.
No,
Yes.
I was gonna
Sorry.
say, check out this
Chat-
headline.
Oh, this headline, right? So
Theater surveillance shows U.S. Rep. Lauren Boebert escorted out of Beetlejuice musical.
hard to think that was going to be a headline this week.
This is where we're at in 2023.
So
This is a congresswoman.
John, yeah, absolutely. This started as an article or as a story we were going to do on the show as a bit on the podcast as like, hey, we should see where Lauren Boebert's reelect is going. She's in she's up for reelection in 2024. She's in a dogfight, I guess. It's actually a rematch.
Yes.
Of the guy from city councilman from Aspen, which is in her district, who lost to her by 500 plus or minus, right around there, votes last time. in a Colorado district, which includes her hometown of Rifle and Aspen, and it's generally considered to be a Republican district. I think it was +8 or +9 for Trump, and yet her race was 500 votes. So, and the guy's name that she's running against, I think
Frisch?
Adam Frisch, yes.
Yep.
So it's a rematch. And then we came upon some real exciting news that happened this week with Representative Boebert. There she is wearing a really fun dress. She was at the Buell Theater in Denver. I guess she's loves the theater. And,
what is her age again?
The theater.
Boebert
what do you think?
age?
Early 40s?
So Boebert's
36?
a 36-year-old
Wow.
grandmother
Really?
who represents all of our conservative values.
And what she got going on? So she was at this theater, right? And apparently she was vaping, singing.
Wait, in the theater?
Yes, vaping.
This is a conservative congresswoman. One of the most
Yes.
conservative, actually.
Pregnant woman behind her asked her if she could stop vaping, and she said no. They went out. Her and her guest went out to the maybe the complainant went out to get the ushers, and they said it's not the first complaint we've gotten. They're being too loud. They're singing. They're vaping. They're carrying on, and they had to kick them out.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say who her guest was? Did you bring that up?
John, do you have that video? John, or you've been playing it, right?
I've been playing
okay,
it,
yeah. So you could see the dress she had on. You could see she's with a young gentleman. And apparently the guy that she's with is a big Democrat from Denver.
Wow.
So I think
Oh, really?
Yes.
We have a divided
Well, I don't know if
family.
he is. I guess his family is. And there was an interview with some of his buddies that said, yeah, he must have been hiding this, that he's dating her, because we didn't know about it. And his parents are going to be freaked out because they're huge blue.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, what do you think she's saying to the usher right here? Watch this.
I'm sure it's like,
She's probably
F
like,
you.
She waves his
Oh.
finger. She waves her finger at him right here. Look at this.
she's like, I'm sorry, we were having so much fun at your show. Why?
I did see an interview with the ushers who said that she said, "Do you know who I am?"
Oh, wow.
And which, of course, that drives me crazy when people say that.
Yep.
And then she also said, "I'm going to notify I forget the guy who heads up the Performing Arts Foundation in Denver and the mayor, who's a Democrat."
Oh, that could be a problem for them.
And by the way, I'm not saying that anybody can't. That was something.
You
in
guys
that
are
video.
gross.
I'm just shocked. There's nothing against a Democrat dating a Republican, of course, but it just seems in this instance
No, it doesn't fit.
it doesn't fit.
It doesn't
right?
fit who she is. Like, what's going on
I
here?
think maybe she's really a Democrat, John, or maybe he's really a Republican. I
in
don't
sheep's
know.
clothing?
Maybe, who knows?
Is that what's going on here?
Who knows? Maybe she's trying to moderate herself before the election. See, I'm not just all, MAGA.
I love the ads I'm getting on. Well, I guess they're political ads on X, where they're saying, "Hey, if you don't vote her out now, she is going to get her pension."
That is crazy, right?
Oh, wow.
Yes, that's what they're saying. Like, you vote her out now, or she gets a pension that you'll be paying for the rest of your lives.
Wow.
And this could become the new thing, because there's no term limits, obviously, right, in this situation.
Correct.
So we could start as a people, like, all right, they're not going to vote in term limits. Let's just, as soon as they get close to getting
So right
their
at
pension,
6 years,
let's just vote
third
them out.
term,
That's it.
you're out.
Come on. We could do this
But what
across
if
the
what if
country.
what if it doesn't work? Then they're in for life.
Yeah, then that's a problem.
Then they're in until they freeze on TV.
That's the problem. We got some older folks that have
Wow.
medical issues that won't leave because whatever reason, and we don't vote them out.
The doctor of the Capitol says they're fine.
But use this pension. This is not a bad strategy, because even people who are voting for her are like, well, I like her, but I also don't want to pay for her pension the rest of my life.
It could get people that are like why should she get a pension? Come
Yes.
out and vote against her.
Exactly.
It's interesting. Very interesting strategy. We'll see what happens. The other thing I would say is that she only lost by 500 votes in the midterm. This will be a presidential year, so it may actually help her in that district, right? So,
I think the most disturbing part of this story is that there's a musical version of Beetlejuice.
we forgot that. See, Jill, good point, Jill.
Fun fact, Jill, Beetlejuice was my wife's favorite movie growing up. She could recite every line from that movie.
That's twisted.
Every
That's so
line.
weird.
It just doesn't feel like it lends itself to being a musical.
No, nor someone's favorite movie.
You know what? I'd go
Favorite movie?
Well, she was a child.
Okay.
But If they had Michael
She's in
Keaton
chat.
in musical, is she in chat right now?
I'm like,
If
just,
they had Michael Keaton in this, who wouldn't go see it? You know, if he was
True.
playing Beetlejuice, I'd go see it.
true.
He's amazing. But
I think I've liked some of the things Boebert's done. What I don't like is you've got videos of her doing like special guest appearances at churches, raising money off of supposedly representing these values. And here she's getting kicked out of a Beetlejuice musical for vaping in front of everyone. It just doesn't. It just, you're either about the life or you're not.
The woman behind her also said, the one that was pregnant and complained about the vaping, also said that they are making out a lot, her and her date.
Come on, who's doing
In a yeah.
vaping?
Maybe not making out, maybe just
Yeah.
kissing, but you know.
Right.
well, you certainly can't vape in a theater, right?
Shouldn't,
They're
I don't
not-
think.
They're not going to allow you to
Should
do
not.
that.
I think you should be doing that.
But laughing and whatnot. If it's a Beetlejuice musical, there should be some funny.
But I mean,
scenes
I'm sure there's like a level, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, like if the joke is over
Yes.
and everyone stopped laughing, you shouldn't carry on so that people can't hear the show.
Wait, didn't she just get divorced too?
Yes.
Like
Not that
really
long
recently,
ago. Well,
right?
I mean, within, I would say, year and a half.
May 16th, 2023.
But that's
Lauren.
that's when they file. But who knows? Maybe trouble before then.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Okay, so fast forward
4 months.
4 months. She's got a new guy.
Mm-hmm.
She's flaunting him around.
Sure.
The whole thing is,
Doesn't sit well with you, John?
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like
Is
it.
it
All
because
right.
he's a Democrat, John?
No,
Is that what's
I
going
just
on?
don't like it.
You know what this reminds me of? When you guys did the podcast about the lady having the orgasm in the symphony. You know,
We've moved on from that.
Maybe it was Boebert.
we don't talk about that.
Maybe it
anymore?
was Boebert.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
Well, we'll see what this means.
All right. Well, Phil,
is she going to lose? Give us a prediction, Kevin.
I think I don't know because I wouldn't want to do a prediction in that race because I'm not sure how the fact that it's not a midterm race affects her. But I think the pension argument's an interesting one.
I feel like
Maybe they're just sick of her.
when she ran last time, they also were saying that she was down in the polls, and then she ends up winning. So
Yep.
I don't trust polls anymore. People lie.
No, you can't trust
They
polls.
say whatever you ask them.
I think the problem with polls these days is that you don't. Before, you heard that, well, we got to do more internet polls. Or you have to get people via text or something to do your polls. But then you're all of a sudden missing out on all the folks that, like my dad who's got a flip phone, or the people that are like in their 80s or 70s that aren't technology driven a lot. But then if you did, let's just call the home phones, who are you getting, right? You're not getting everybody, probably a large percentage of America that doesn't have a home telephone anymore. So I think pollsters are in an interesting position because it's not easy to get a, good swath of what you're trying to get
I agree.
to get an accurate poll.
John, does Rudy Vesmar have a flip phone?
No, he has an iPhone.
My dad has an iPhone too, Kevin.
Yeah.
I think.
My dad refuses. I'm not kidding you. I mean, we've tried to get him to get on an iPhone. He won't do it. It was amazing when the only reason he has a upgraded flip phone is because the flip part on his other phone broke off. After I don't even know how long.
Upgraded. It's like he also is using an upgraded Commodore 64.
Right. I know. You're telling me,
So,
Phil.
yeah.
Trust me. And then he tries to take pictures with it, which is and he thinks it's hilarious. I'm taking a picture with my flip phone.
Your dad was at the Frank Sinatra
He was.
event.
He was. My dad, my mom, and my Aunt Mary, who's in town from Florida, and they had a great time, Jill. So thank you.
Next
It
time
was
around him, I'm going to ask him to see his flip phone.
Oh,
I wanna see it.
he'll love to show
He's
you.
going to show it off.
Shows
a
it
little
off.
bit? Okay. I
Proud of
like
it.
It's a BlackBerry.
I don't even think it's that. I don't even know what brand it is.
Okay.
Is it a razor?
Could be.
Oh
Could
well,
be.
if it's a modern flip, yeah. Then
No,
that's-
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, your dad has an iPhone. I've seen him with it. He
He
knows how to
does.
use it.
And
And my dad and him are the same age.
he makes all the fonts bigger. Obviously,
Yeah.
it makes it easier to see,
Yeah.
and does good with it.
Anyway.
So we have a couple things before we wrap up.
Okay.
The wonderful, amazing, high IQ state of California is about to ban candy, possibly. And then the next thing is we got Phil's pick. We can't forget that.
All right, you're
Everyone
right.
is
So-
hanging around for that, and it's 8:34.
And it's already 8:34. All right.
Okay.
So real quick, Phil, do the article.
Okay, so I think John, do you have it up on the screen?
It's
I
up.
can't tell. Okay, so it says that obviously California is banning certain ingredients that are in very popular
Chemicals.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
chemicals.
no, I'm just saying.
Right.
Thank you. That are in very popular candies and cereals, so that's what this article is all about. And this hasn't started yet, right? If I recall, it's going to be coming up here shortly.
Well, it's past the assembly,
passed,
and
yep.
it's potentially going to be on Gavin Newsom's desk soon. I just would note the chemicals are brominated vegetable oil. When's the last time you had that in your
Every
cereal?
day. Every day.
Potassium bromate,
Uh huh.
This is going to be a tough one. Propylparaben
Everybody knows about propylparaben.
and red dye number 3. Now, that one I've seen.
Red
dye
dyes
number
we've heard
3.
of, or
Yeah.
dyes we've heard of for sure.
So the interesting thing, 2 things. One, these have been outlawed in 27 countries in the EU. So it's not like California's on the front edge of this.
So we're behind.
We're behind.
Okay.
We're behind.
It's true. No, that is true. There's a lot of stuff they don't allow in Europe that we allow in America. Here.
Yep, and this is so 27 countries have actually outlawed these 4.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is that the original bill had titanium dioxide in it.
Oh,
Is that bad?
Classic Skittles ingredient.
I
Classic.
I do a shot of that every morning. Yes.
It's in this thing right here.
That's right.
So
Tight
Skittles has some really good lobbyists because that chemical got removed.
pulled out of the final bill.
Well, because they're stating that these chemicals are causing neurological problems, reproductive problems. Some are linked to cancer. So, I mean, I need more info on this.
It's interesting. Well, I was kind of like John was, right? Like, oh, California's trying to do something again, and then I read 27 countries in Europe have banned them. So I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe like you said, maybe we're behind.
Could be.
Skittles has been saved though, John, in its current recipe.
Whew. But, why wouldn't you just put out, hey, these are what these chemicals potentially can do, and it's up to you if you still want to use them or eat them,
All right.
right?
I like
Yeah.
that, Phil.
Yes.
I'm
hey,
with you.
Yeah.
You want to potentially have reproductive problems? Then eat your Fruit Loops.
Go ahead and have a Snickers bar.
It's up to you.
Well, think about everything, that disclaimer that's on like everything today because of California. Like,
Yeah.
this thing is known in the state of California to cause cancer, right?
Well-
Just put that on candy.
Well, I think what I will say this though, I am very conscious of like now that we have to have like the big thing about calories on everything. Even like when you go to a fast food place, it has to say how many calories it is. I look at that.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Forright.
Are we getting stupider as a country?
Yes.
Stupider.
The answer to that's yes.
Yes. Because I just said
Based
stupider.
on that comment, the answer is yes.
I was in
That's the title.
I was in a washroom yesterday at a building. I'm not going to say which one.
Title done.
And there was a sign up on a thing that said, "We cannot make sure that every virus is how did it word it? I'm saying it wrong.
What a sign this must have been.
It was in the bathroom, and it said, "We cannot promise you that there are no viruses in this washroom." I'm like, what is going on in our country that somebody
Did
thought...
you wash your hands
it was
or
a
no
of
at
course
that
I
point?
did.
Why at that point?
I always wash my hands in the washroom, but unlike some people, I hate you.
Don't do the finger again. Don't do the pointing.
What does that mean? Oh, no, this is not Kevin. I would assume Kevin is like me. He's more OCD when it comes to cleanliness.
I try.
Phil,
So-
yes, we are getting stupider as a country.
We're stupider.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
That's a given.
There's no-
All right,
We're
well, here.
putting
People have been
signs
waiting
up.
for this. Speaking of stupider, let's
Yes.
talk about Phil's picks.
All right, you guys ready? Write this down. You're going to make a ton of money, and you're welcome. This is a no-brainer, and it's not a out-in-your-face one where you'd think of it, but you're going to want to go with the Broncos -3.5 this week at home.
Money line or take the line?
Money line. Oh, no. Take the line.
Okay.
I don't want to say, although I do think they're going to win, but I would take the Broncos -3.5. They're going to beat Washington. Washington's not a very good team. So you're welcome. You're going to be rich, and we'll talk about it hopefully next week. What do you got, Kevin? I want your pick, too. You got to give
I was going to
pick.
give money line on the Packers and the Bengals.
Whoa. I think that Packers one is interesting.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Because are they really good, or are the Bears just really
That's
bad?
good. I'm just depressed about the Bears loss, but
Their
that was gonna
defense
be-
is pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, so just real quick before we wrap up. Number one, Phil, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having
appreciate
me.
you being available.
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. Always a lot of fun. The Locomotive will be back on Tuesday, and we are going to have a off the square update. So that's a brewery in Crown Point, which Spiros Batistados on LinkedIn criticized. So we're going to have an update on that on Tuesday.
Big update.
Will you have a
Big
gift card
update.
to give away?
We may have an off the square gift card to give away.
Write that down, Laura.
Maybe.
Yep.
And the other thing is that our great business manager Steve Kellogg has set up Ben Hamilton, who's a former history teacher, on Tuesday to come in, and he's written a book. He lives in a big black van called The Beast, and spends most of his time searching for interesting events to personally witness and write about. So
He lives in a van.
down by John.
Well, sometimes
All right, well,
First off, I am 35 years old. I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river.
thank you. This has been Season 10, Episode 3.
awesome.
LOCPOD out.